Hello, hi. Welcome back to my course on enhancing soft skills and personality. The course already was over uh, with unit number 5 and lesson number 40. However, I thought that I'll try to give a brief highlights of the course. That is why we have this unit number 6 and lesson number 41. This is just about the highlights of the course. So, every time I begin a unit, a lesson by discussing about the highlights of the previous lesson, but in this entire unit, in this entire lesson and lecture, I am just going to give you the major highlights of what we have been doing for the past 8 weeks, just to ensure that you didn't miss the most important points that I wanted you to grasp. So, each lesson, each week, I had certain things in my mind and I wanted you to grasp it. Now, in case you missed it, it's just my way of telling you again that these are the things that I wanted you to take note of it. Please take note of it and remember them and make use of them in your day to day life. So, I'll go week by week, highlights of the first week. In the first week, apart from discussing the highlights of the previous course, that is developing soft skills and personality in 2 lessons, just to benefit those who have not taken that course, the first week of the course focused on creating and developing a growth mindset. That was the most important concept introduced in week 1, that you need to develop a growth mindset. You were told about mindset. Mindset just indicates your perspective, your world view, the way you normally look at things. Somebody looks at a plant, let's say a rose plant, and then looks at only the thorns, and somebody looks at only the rosy flower. So, why is it that your eye is focused on something that is negative all the time, and somebody else is looking at only the rosy part of life, the optimistic part of life? So, that's mindset basically. And then generally there is this fixed and growth mindset. There are other types like learning mindsets and all that. But I emphasized the fact that you need to develop growth mindset, and it is possible. And once you develop growth mindset, you will learn from your failure instead of refusing to learn from your failure. You will believe that your abilities can be developed through hard work, good strategies and mentorship, which will make you contribute to outstanding achievements. Followed by that, in the second week, you learnt about managing time, handling delay and being assertive, because once you have a growth mindset, the next important thing is learning how to manage time, understanding the perspectives of time, how people perceive time, and then you need to know how you can handle delay, and you also need to learn how to be assertive. So, it is important to manage time in an efficient manner by being punctual and executing jobs in time, as people assess your personality by the way you handle time. So, in that week you learned how to use time efficiently, first by identifying your goals, especially by getting them written, then prioritizing your activities, keeping the high value tasks at the top and sticking to them till completion, not getting distracted and being completely focused on the task at hand, and stopping time leakage and creating additional time. So, these are the aspects you learnt in terms of managing time. And then later you also learnt about the importance of planning and doing things in time, because if you postpone, as per Parkinson's law, you understood work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Meaning, if you think that you will do something tomorrow, that tomorrow never comes, it keeps on becoming tomorrow, tomorrow and tomorrow. Okay. So, work will keep on expanding till the time available for its completion. So, I came to know in a university once they had this rule of PhD submission, which can be submitted any time in their lifetime. Okay. Now currently there are institutes which will say within 4 years, 5 years, or not more than 6 years. At the most we can take extension up to 7 years in extreme cases, but the average time they expect is 5 to 6 years. But then when universities just made it very relaxed and they said that there is no stipulated time in which you submit, you can submit it till the end of your life. Many people died without submitting their PhD thesis because they thought that time is available till the end of their life, and they kept on postponing till the end of their life, and till the time they died the time never came. So that is Parkinson's law. Once you give that time is unlimited, you never try to fix your work and then try to complete it in time. So that is why you need to avoid procrastination, and we learned how you can tackle with procrastination. And instead of being a kind of person who enjoys immobility, so you are suggested that you need to set your body and mind in motion to enjoy the flow. So when you keep doing more and more work in less and less time, your efficiency increases, and at the same time you will be in a flow to do one job after another, and people cannot stop you because you will be enjoying the flow. But once you let that inertia overtake you and make you immobile, so you will be just on your couch, and then you will be that couch potato eating, and then not getting up and not doing any fruitful activity. And in terms of managing enormous work which overwhelms you and makes you procrastinate, it was suggested that you need to break the difficult task into manageable chunks and start working on them without any delay. At the same time, you also understood why you should not say yes when you really want to say no. And then you were also told about the importance of these 3 C's in your life: the choices you make and the chances you take. Both of them will change your life for the better. So you have to be very careful in terms of these 3 C's. And then eventually you learnt about being assertive, controlling negative emotions, and channelizing positive emotions in the 3rd week. And in terms of being assertive, you also learnt the ways in which you can say no. So you were given many strategies as how you can say no even when you feel embarrassed, and how to overcome that embarrassment. And at the same time you were taught about the importance of controlling negative emotions, particularly anger. We spent entire unit on controlling anger, because all negative emotions distort your perceptions of reality. Positive thinking, on the other hand, makes you accept your sorrow and makes you live a happy, healthy, satisfying, fulfilling, meaningful and purposeful life. So that's why you need to have positive thinking and control your negative emotions. And once you start developing your positive thinking, and you will be able to believe in miracles. And once you start believing in miracles, you will begin to see them around. You will start working them around you. And then we proceeded to the 4th week, and the 4th week completely focused on people skills and gave you tips on what makes people dislike as well as like you. Also, as how you can make yourself really attractive apart from the physical looks. Likability, we found that amounts to creating positive emotional experiences in others. So if you make others feel good, they will certainly like you. Similarly, people dislike you for those reasons you made them feel unpleasant or uncomfortable in your company. In the 4th week, you also learnt that you should accept any information, not just as gossip, but after letting it pass through the triple filter test of truth, goodness and usefulness suggested by Socrates. Real success depends on your ability to leave the world a bit better and to enhance the living conditions of some people around you. So, in the same manner, real attractiveness depends upon not only physical fitness but also on one's healthy habits and on becoming the kind of person one wants to attract. So, if you want to attract someone with certain qualities, you need to become that someone developing those qualities, then automatically you will attract those people. Besides, real success and then attractiveness emanates from one's deep belief in the goodness of humanity. So, you will automatically become attractive if you believe in the goodness of humanity and start doing things which are positive. In the fifth week, we completely focused on developing your English skills. So, we discussed the importance of developing English skills in a globalized scenario where English is used as the common language and the preferred one for all international communications. Besides, many books, films and other knowledge disseminating materials are produced in English. And people invariably identify soft skills with English skills. So, if your English is good, they come to the conclusion that your soft skills are good. Although this correlation is not accurate, but it is worthy of developing yourself in terms of gaining some knowledge in using English. In that context, you learnt how to avoid at least common mistakes committed in everyday communication. And then we proceeded to sixth week, where you learnt about the significance of humor in communication, especially in workplace. So, you understood that it is important to be humorous in life as it minimizes worries and enhances happiness. Humor can be used as a very effective communication strategy. We always remember those who made us laugh. So, to be well remembered, make people laugh and be humorous. Let them be humorous in your company. Humor in brainstorming sessions in the workplace can facilitate creativity and quick problem solving ability. So, people who watched comedies were able to solve problems better than those who watched horror movies or tragedies. Humor can help one become popular, gain more friends and retain one's job against all odds. So, in the sixth week, you also understood how money is linked with personality and you learnt how to manage it. But the overall emphasis was given on acquiring things that money cannot buy, such as time, sleep, health, happiness, peace, integrity, love, character, manners, respect, morals, trust, patience, class, common sense and dignity. Then we proceeded to know more about being wealthy and especially to gain wealth in terms of making use of the job or the business that you are involved in. So, there I try to drive home the point that in order to be really wealthy, you were supposed to develop indispensability. Quoting from M.R. Kopmeyer, I emphasize the point that your only job security is your indispensability. So, to create your own wealth, you have to be irreplaceable wherever you are and whatever you do. So, you need to learn something, you have to become an expert and you have to use your unique style in handling things so that you become indispensable. If you are removed, nobody can do that job. So, that is the kind of irreplaceability you need to develop. To do that, you need to invest in yourself and develop core competence at work and establish your uniqueness. And then this, if you keep it your primary objective, you will be automatically on the path of becoming very wealthy. And then we move to the seventh week, in which you learnt how soft skills, health and personality are related. We started focusing on health because we discussed in the previous one and said that health is the topmost priority in terms of gathering wealth. And you understood that the health condition of a person determines the liveliness and enthusiasm of a person. Employers' crucial decisions in appointing people depend on health factors. Besides, certain jobs demand fitness on the work front, which an unfit person will not be able to cope with. Healthy individuals are considered to be disciplined, hardworking, controlled, balanced, and are aware of what is good and bad for them. Hence, the time one gives for maintaining one's health will pay rich dividends in the long run. You also learned how to manage health by regular exercise. So many tips I gave to resume even if you stop it, to make it attractive, and then have proper diet and the time that you should have proper diet, and have adequate sleep. We continued in the same week, 7th week, about other important aspect of life, that is love. So you learnt how love can make or mar your personality and identified most of the qualities of real love. You understood that love is a combination of the following: understanding, optimism, goodness, truth, faith, fairness, friendship, responsibility, caring, compassion, respect, and surrender. You also understood love as the point of self-realization, where an individual realizes one's capacity to be selfless, egoless, and love someone more than oneself. And later I suggested that keep love as the core emotion, but do not mix that with your profession, and try to keep your love interest out of the professional area. And then I suggested that wise professionals keep the love interest out of work environment and focus on work at hand first, and then give full time for love outside the business area, because the real love is patient and it waits and it understands and it knows that work is more important, and then it should not destroy or distract. And then we also understood that love overall is constructive and it is never destructive. And towards the last week, the last week started with making you understand the meanings of values, ethics, etiquette, and the relation to personality. You also learned specifically about business etiquette. A person with high ethical values and good etiquette will be able to create an everlasting impression on the people he or she comes across. Being friendly, helpful, charming, dignified, decent, affectionate, and lovable are qualities one should possess to build one's personality. If individuals initiate change, then society can easily change. Instead of complaining that society is corrupt, so I will also be corrupt, society is not having good manners, so I will also not have good manners, you be honest, you be clean, you be neat, you be a highly integrated person, because you as an individual is part of the society and you will be able to change the society together. You also learned in the last week about the power of mind and why it is important to manage mind and train memory. Human mind is capable of creating happiness or sorrow on its own by its own capabilities. It doesn't need anything from the outside. No external things are required. On its own, it can generate happiness or sorrow. So it's important to organize your mind with good thoughts. By organizing your mind and focusing it on highly valuable tasks, you can become a better and happier person. The other interesting fact that was projected was only 10% of our mind is used for most of our accomplishments. 40% we use to junk unnecessary things, and 50% remains unutilized. If we make use of the remaining 90%, we will be able to achieve great feats. So, we need to hypnotize our minds using auto-suggestion to think positive. You also learned in this context some techniques for remembering names and faces, and later you were taught as how to make use of memory aids and train your mind and memory. The course ended with sensitizing you to care for the environment in the impending climate change disasters that can force all humans to become refugees and eventually wipe them out from this earth. Emphasis was given on changing your anthropocentric mindset to ecocentric mindset. Anthropocentric mindset implies being man centered, human centered, woman centered, in general, thinking only about human beings and not about all other non humans, such as animals, birds, trees, which are also part and parcel of this universe. But when you are able to change your mindset to ecocentric one or biocentric, you try to value, respect the other non humans as somebody, someone who has equal right as you, who is able to enjoy everything that this earth is giving them. So, with that thought, the course actually ended. And then after the ending, I also requested you to give your feedback on the course instructor, and on anything that you want to say about this. And if you have any ideas for a new course that you are looking forward to, that also I said you can write to the email ID trc@iitk.ac.in. I also invited you to the next course that I am planning, that is Essential English for Life and Career, because many people like the English skills part and suggested why don't you have a full-fledged course. So, that is the idea, but as I said, it may start either in July or in January 2018, depending on the preparedness of our team. Last but not the least, as they say, I want to conclude this with some very significant thoughts from the previous course as well as the current one. The first one is from Abraham Maslow about self-actualizing and developing your own independent creative self. So, he says, if you plan on being anything less than you are capable of being, you will probably be unhappy all the days of your life. What does it mean? All the time we do less than what is required and we live a life less than what we are capable. We try to achieve than less than what we can do. We don't want to push ourselves. Okay, we are satisfied with the minimum. But the real happiness, as Maslow points out, is possible only when you are able to do something that fully exploits your capacity, that fully gives vent to all your talents. And if you are able to do that, he says, you will be happy, and if you are not doing that, he says, it's high time you think about doing it. And courses like this should be able to help you realize that potential in you. And the next thing, that we spend a lot of time in useless activities and we end living a life full of trash and trivial details and life with no value, no significance, life just like billions of other wasted life. But if you could ask the question that Steve Jobs was asking every morning and eliminating all useless activities in life, so that will make a crucial change. And what was he asking? He was asking this: if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? Meaning, if I am going to die at this moment or at the end of this day, will I go ahead and do what I am planning to do? So then he used to revise that no, this is not something that I want to do immediately. So this is how he learnt how to prioritize the topmost thing that he should be doing and learn to prioritize. So do the topmost things. The bottommost events will take care of themselves, or most of the times you can just ignore and neglect them. And then from this course, two quotes I want you to keep in mind. I have given so many valuable suggestions, thoughts, witty sayings, wisdoms, and then you have also learned things from so many people. But as Shakespeare says, this above all, to thine own self be true. So you don't have to do something because somebody wants you to do something. You don't have to do something because your religion is asking you to do, because your teacher is asking you to do, parents are asking you to do, friends are asking you to do. But there is something in yourself that also tells you, be true to me. So if your friend is saying that you can copy from me, no problem. But inside yourself is saying, no, that is demoralizing me, don't do that. So listen to that. Be true to that self. So that will again make a tremendous change in your life and your approach to people in your life. And last but not the least, the secret of living well and longer is eat off, walk double, laugh triple, and love without measure. So already I explained this, but again I would suggest that we have done enough materials to learn how to eat off and stay healthy, walk double again in terms of maintaining your health and fitness, but laugh triple. So that is the one that will give you joy and happiness, and love without measure. Show compassion, help people around, and love unconditionally. So with this thought, let me thank you a million times for watching these videos very patiently, for taking time out of your busy schedule to manage and watch this somehow or other. And I am happy to note that about 3000 people are going to give exams for the course also. Let me wish you all the very best, and you are enough prepared to do well in the exams. But once again, my best wishes are with you to do well and get very good scores in the exams. And as I said, you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. So all the materials are before you, and then it's up to you to develop that thirst and follow whatever has been told to you. So the thirst is the thing that I attempted in creating, and I hope I succeeded to some extent, and by making this course beneficial to you. And let me conclude this with great wishes to whatever endeavor that you choose in your life, and then whatever you do, if something in this course will help you to change some part of you and then make you a better you, so that day, that moment will give you, as well as me, the utmost satisfaction. So let's hope for that moment, and once again, thank you. Let's meet in the next course. Till then, goodbye.